Hello and welcome to Cisco ASA Training 101. My name's Don Crawley. I'm from soundtraining.net. We're the Seattle, Washington-based publisher of learning resources and provider of accelerated training for IT professionals. This time we're going to show you how to configure a split tunnel for use with a Cisco Remote Access VPN. It's a companion to Chapter 8 in my book, The Accidental Administrator, Cisco ASA Security Appliance. The book is certainly not required, but if you'd like to get a copy, it's available through Amazon and other online resellers or at soundtraining.net/bookstore. Our ASA software version is 9.11. Our ASDM version is 7.1. Any recent version of the ASA software should work, and we're not going to be actually using the ASDM for this demonstration, so that doesn't really matter. What does a split tunnel do? Well, it allows you, if you have a VPN setup, to decide whether your remote users are going to be able to access the World Wide Web through the VPN, through your corporate LAN, or be able to go directly from their remote location. And there's reasons why you might want to do either one. You might want to direct all traffic through your LAN so that, for example, you can enforce corporate security policies or acceptable use policies. Or you might not want to do that. You might want to use a split tunnel so that your users aren't encumbered by bandwidth limitations and other technical considerations through the corporate LAN. It's really just a matter of your choice, and I'm not going to make a recommendation one way or the other, but I'll just show you how to do it. Here's the network diagram for the exercise. You'll need a management workstation connected via a console cable to your ASA. I'm using a 5505, but you can use any ASA for this. And you'll need a VPN client. You'll also need connectivity to the public internet in order to complete the demonstration. Let's go over the equipment software requirements. One Cisco ASA security appliance with a base license and a remote access VPN already configured. If you don't know how to do that, we've got a video that shows you how to do that, so take a look at that first, then come back to this one. You'll also need a computer serving as a management workstation, one computer serving as a VPN client. The Cisco VPN client is supported on multiple platforms. You have to get a different client depending on whether you're running a Mac or Linux or earlier versions of Windows. The client that we're going to use works with Windows Vista, Windows 7, or Windows 8, and our remote VPN client actually is running Windows 8. You'll also need a console cable connected to the serial port on the management workstation and the console port on the ASA, and terminal emulation software such as the one I'm using, which is PuTTY. Prerequisites: in order to do this exercise, you'll need unrestricted privilege mode access to a Cisco ASA security appliance, and you need to have some comfort working in the command line environment, whether it's in Unix or Linux, Windows, or another Cisco device, because this entire exercise is done in the command line environment. Here's a summary of the steps. There's not many. It's pretty simple. After you've created the VPN, you'll create an access control list to identify the inside subnet. You'll configure the group policy attributes, which include the tunnel policy mode, and then you'll also identify which traffic goes across the tunnel. So as I said, there's not a lot to it. Here's your disclaimer. This video is provided solely as a courtesy to you, our viewer. There are no guarantees whatsoever. Do not attempt these procedures on a production firewall without first testing them for security and suitability in a lab environment. Performing these procedures may open your firewall to the public internet and subject your network to attack, so make sure you have current backups and take precautions including data encryption and additional access controls to protect sensitive data. Now let's do the demo. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're not going to connect to the VPN, so we'll just go to a website. How about if we hit soundtraining.net? So www.soundtraining.net. And there you can see, no problem. Now let's open up the VPN connection. And let's connect to the VPN, asking us for authentication. And now we're connected to the VPN. Let's see if we can hit another website. How about if we hit the soundtraining.net Facebook page? So www.facebook.com/soundtraining.net. And it's going to whir for a moment. Take my word for it. We're not going to be able to connect because we don't have a split tunnel set up, and I'm blocking web traffic through our LAN. So it's simply not going to work, as you can see. So let's disconnect from the VPN by clicking the disconnect button. And let's go back into the ASA configuration in the command line environment, and here we go. Now, first of all, let's take a look at the existing group policy because we'll need to know some information from that in order to configure our split tunnel. So we'll use the command show run group policy. This will just show us the group policies that are configured, or group policy that is configured on our security appliance. And we'll need to know that. Specifically, we're going to need to know the name in order to go in and set up the split tunnel. So you can see we have one. It's called group policy underscore account reps NA. You'll notice that it's in quotes because of the spaces that I put in the name. You may or may not want to do that. I like to use names that are a little more user-friendly, less computer-oriented for my end users. And since our end users are going to see account reps NA when they log in, that's something I just wanted them to see, and I wanted it to look natural for them. But doesn't matter. You can call it whatever you want. So let's go in and configure the split tunnel. We'll need to go into configuration mode since we're in privilege mode with the command configure terminal, which I'll abbreviate probably the same way you do with conf space T. And now we're going to first of all create the access control list to identify our inside subnet's IP address, the network address that is. So access list and then split underscore tunnel underscore list. That's just a name text string. You could call it Billy Bob or Fred and Wilma, doesn't matter. Then permit 192.168.101.0 255.255.255.0. Now I happen to know that 192.168.101.0 is my inside subnet. That's just something that presumably you would know if you're configuring the ASA. We'll go ahead and hit enter. And now we've got the access control list configured. Let's configure the group policy attributes with the command group-policy. And then I like to make things as easy as possible. And since I'm prone to fat fingering and bad typing, I'm just going to grab this with my mouse like that. And I'll right click, which automatically pastes it in place. And now I'm going to add on the command attributes. And what this is saying is that I'm going to configure the attributes for the group policy account reps NA. Now the first thing I need to do is configure the split tunnel policy mode, and I have three options. I could either do exclude specified, which excludes only networks specified by the split tunnel network list. I could do tunnel all, which tunnels everything, or I could do tunnel specified, which tunnels only the networks specified by the split tunnel network list. And since that's what I want to do, I'm going to use the command split tunnel policy tunnel specified, all one word, and hit enter. And now I need to identify the network list, and I'm going to use the command split tunnel network list value. And once again, I'm going to use my mouse and that very cool copy and paste function to come up and grab the name of the access control list like that. Right click to paste it and hit enter, and I'm done. Now before we actually go test it, let's just take a quick look at the group policy settings. So let's do the command show run group policy, and you'll notice comparing it to the output of the same command above that we now have the split tunnel settings in there, the split tunnel policy tunnel specified and the split tunnel network list with the value of split tunnel list. Now let's go test it. So let's start by connecting to our VPN again. So I'll click connect and authenticate. Now we're connected to the VPN, and let's see if we can hit an inside website. So I've got a little web server set up on my inside network. Let's just make sure we can hit that. So I'll go to the IP address of the web server, which is 192.168.101.6. That works. As you can see, it says it works. Now let's see if we can hit that Facebook page. So we'll go to www.facebook.com/soundtraining.net and look at that. So the split tunnel works. Mr. Zuckerberg's even asking us to sign up. But we've got our split tunnel set up, and it wasn't all that difficult, was it? If you'd like more information, we've got it at our website at www.soundtraining.net. I blog at soundtraining.net/blog. You can sign up for a newsletter at soundtraining.net/newsletter. Like us on Facebook, please do, or follow us on Twitter or Google+. And if you'd like more videos, we've got them. We add at least one a week, sometimes more, occasionally less, at our video channel at www.soundtraining.net/videos. And if you'd like the companion book, it's available at www.soundtraining.net/bookstore. Well, I hope it's been helpful for you. For soundtraining.net, I'm Don Crawley. I'll see you next time.